Okay, now it's rolling.
All right. Well, Happy New Year. I'm not gonna curse. That way you can actually make money on this in like a year or so time, and you can actually make money on it.
Yeah. I if only stuff I say is that like popular or that attention grabbing or informative. That's it.
Interesting.
Interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
that's probably the word that you're looking for. Is interesting.
Probably, after all, it's something I'm completely not. Anyway, hello, ladies and
Uh,
gentlemen.
now that the self-deprecating humor is out of the way, let's start on something better.
My pants are still clean.
It says self-deprecating.
Oh,
Uh, do call.
and now we've got the obligatory poop joke out of the way. After all, this is
Oh
crap.
boy.
After all, this is crap humor. Uh, welcome, one and all, to this little podcasty thing. Um, in the background, you'll be seeing me play some Just Cause 4. Why? Just cause. Um, and here I am.
Go. All right, all right. How about we start that as like our first topic of conversation with just cause? Because because I've heard it said just cause because it say just cause on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But then because of how much freedom you get in the game, I've heard it pronounced as just cause. Like, why'd you tie rockets to that statue? Just cause. Why why'd you tie a rocket to that cow? Just cause. Why did you just why do you use a cow to destroy a helicopter? Just cause.
Well, I found that doing things like that actually destroys helicopters faster than actually hitting them with rockets.
It's hilarious, really.
It is, it is. But real quick, before we get too much into this, might as well tell the people who you are.
I mean, I'm Mr. I have a sword.
And I'm Arctech. You're on my channel. You're in my domain now.
I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me.
And I'm not wearing any hockey pads. Oh boy.
I'm so while we're doing this whole conversation, I am also playing Sword and Shield. Just like I thought I'd get some extra watts gr- grinding away at Dynamax Pokemon and Nest. And my God, the game goes out of its way to choose choose NPC partners that are weak to the Pokemon that you're trying to fight.
Really?
All
So,
right, well, I was about to give an example.
oh, well, go ahead.
All right, trying to get a Garvantula, which is like the last raid in the area, because if you get rid of every raid in the area, all the nests reset and new raids will spawn.
Oh, okay.
But in order to do that, you have to actually be able to kill the raid.
Ah,
And depending on the Pokemon, people will be are more or less interested in helping out. And for an electric bug type, I joined in. No one bothered to join in before the timer ran out, so it just automatically spawned me with some NPCs. And
ah.
it spawned me with two water type Pokemon and a grass type Pokemon as my partners against an electric bug type.
And, well, of course, water is weak to electric, but,
And grass is weak against bug.
grass is weak to bug. Okay. Just for the, just for reference, I have not actually played Pokemon since the second generation myself. Um,
And I know way too much about Pokemon as is.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get back into it myself, but I don't have any Nintendo consoles, and
I mean,
yeah.
all things considered, Sword and Shield is not a bad jump on location.
Okay, so then I just have to justify a $300 purchase of a Switch.
I mean, first off, you have to justify a purchase of a Switch, which isn't that hard because there's some really nice first-party titles. Like Super Mario Odyssey is already a good one. Then you have Super Smash Brothers, and this is not an ad for Nintendo. Please, don't think that. But but yeah, it in my opinion, there is like enough there.
Oh, no, I completely agree that there's enough there. My issue is time. Because, like, I'm doing this thing, I'm doing my other streams, I work 10-hour shifts, and I'm trying to, like, do some model making and get my art off the ground. And I'm also trying to put stuff together to actually make a tabletop game. So,
So basically, you're trying to go in 10 different directions, and you only have two to go in those directions.
and I only have what? I'm sorry, you kind of broke up there.
2 feet.
2 feet. Yeah, yeah. And the last time that happened with my car, that did not end well. One tire went one way, the other one the other way.
All right, so I'm gonna want some more information on that story.
Oh, well, actually, that happened twice. Two different cars.
Hmm.
Uh, the first one was a Chevy Lumina. I was, where was I going? I was taking a right turn through an intersection. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to go and drop off my brother at, he was on the swim team. So I was taking him from the high school to the pool. And so when I'm taking the turn, apparently my left front tire decided, you know what? You can also get to the pool by going straight through this intersection. Let's do that.
Hmm.
And so the front axle snapped in half. Yeah. And so there I was, like halfway through an intersection turning right, and I was on the ground.
Yeah, I've never had like that sort of issue when it comes to when when it comes to just cars in general.
Oh, well, it wasn't the.
My 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 issues have always been, oh hey, your radiator is messing up. Okay, here's money. Okay, we replace your radiator. Oh hey, your radiator is messed up. What?
So you've just had bad mechanics work on it.
I've had. Here's the thing though. I had like mechanics in multiple different places work on
It's a conspiracy.
it, and it's just like no matter what, it always it always seems to just come right back around to, oh hey, the radiator stuff.
It's the same part all the time.
Oh yeah, no. I eventually had to get a new car because it was costing more to repair it than it would be to just get a new car at that point.
Jeez. Yeah.
And it's just like no matter what the scenario was, it always seemed to be it always seemed to be the radiator that was messing. It's like that was like the main issue. Like I would not be able to tell you like how like
Well, uh, are you still there?
Oh yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay. It just sort of cut out a bit.
Oh no, I was waiting to see on what you do next.
Oh, on what I did next? Okay. Well, back to the back to the Chevy Lumina. It turns out we had to scrap that car. And of course, that was the one time everyone else I knew was going through that intersection, so everybody knew, oh hey, Arc just killed the car. Haha.
Oof.
Yeah, and so then the next one happened just a couple years ago. I work, well, I moved to the town I work in, but back then I was still living at my parents', and they live an hour away from where I work. So every day I had to drive here, and then at 11:30 at night I had to drive back. That was fun. Well, one day after we changed the oil, I have to take off the passenger side tire to get at the oil filter a little better. So I did that, put the tire back on, or put the wheel back on the axle, and then the next day I'm going to work. I pass somebody, and then my car's making a strange sound. Huh, what the hell? I get home, and then the next day I talk to my parents about it, and they're like, okay, well, let's get in the car and check it out. And it wasn't making that sound. But then when I leave for work, it makes that sound again. And then I want to say it was the next day I leave for work and I'm driving along. I get just a little past the halfway point, and then something's going wrong. That sound is back. It's in fact a lot louder, and now my car is shaking as I'm driving.
Hmm.
And then I hear a loud ka-thunk, and then my car is like bouncing as I'm going down the road at about 50 miles. Wait, no, that was at about 55 to 60 miles per hour. And then I'm like, okay, this is not good. Time to slow down, pull over to the side. I got down to about 30 miles, and then there's uh, a loud
Wrong.
crunching sound, yeah. And then it smooths out a bit, and that's because I'm sliding. And I wonder what's going on. And after the car comes to a sliding stop, just as I got to the shoulder. So if you got out and looked, there was a trench dug along the side of the road. I actually didn't land on the road.
Hmm.
But as I was still in the car, my car slides to a stop. I'm wondering what's going on. I look over to the right, and I see my tire still going down into the ditch and into the swamp. As it turns out, I forgot to torque down the lug nuts.
Torque down the lug. Really now?
In my defense, when I was working on that, my dad came out and started yelling at me for something. So at that point, I just wanted to be done with working on the cars and just getting out of there. So I put the tire on, I set the car onto the ground, I backed it out. It's like, fine, you want me to work on your car? Bring it in. There, done. Goodbye. So,
Hmm.
so yeah.
Welcome to episode one, car troubles.
Yeah. Well, that actually should bring us to our first planned topic. What exactly are we going to call this thing?
Well, I already threw in the idea of just calling it Arctale as
Yes,
like a
and
very like funny like statement.
yes, and then I said, well, we should do this because this was actually part of the segment that we wanted to do. And
I didn't actually know that prior.
ah, okay, but yeah, basically because On Discord, of course, my name is Ark, and yours is Tail. So,
Yeah.
so I'm not objecting to it. I kind of like it. So, and I've got no ideas myself. So, yeah, that's
We'll see.
we'll see. We might
Throw it in the bucket.
throw it in the bucket. All right, throwing it into the bucket. It's in the bucket. Okay. I if I think of something else, I'll let you know before I post this. But I don't know myself. But hey, that's it's been about 16 minutes and we blew through two topics. One of them completely unplanned.
Oh, well, we shouldn't try to like we should probably try to make it a like time statement more so than like
So what you're saying is we shouldn't try speed running a podcast.
probably not. Like
Probably not. Damn,
we should actually
I was getting good splits too.
saving those frames.
Yep. Just if
I
cut
I there
every word faster.
really what was that?
If I cut out every other word, it's faster.
But I actually I have actually learned like a couple like speedrun tricks in different games just so I could just so I could use them, fail, and then laugh at myself. Like here's a trick that takes about 5 or so minutes to do, and that's super swimming in Wind Waker.
Super swimming. You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
Okay, so inside Wind Waker, before you get the hook shot, which is vitally needed for speedruns,
Uh-huh.
you you can jump into the water and then you turn around, pause, 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 because the way that the game registers like negative speed is faster than like the normal speed. So if you continuously, but but the ramp up slows down after like the first couple of frames. I think it's only like in the first frame.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you pause, turn around, pause, turn around, pause, turn around, pause, and you do that. And after about 5 or so minutes of doing that, if Link will just shoot like a missile out into the middle of the ocean. And speedrunners have this ability. I do not. Being able to launch themselves directly onto like I think it's like Dragon Roost Island or something like that,
Jeez.
where where the hook shot is, and that's before getting the sword and shield.
Oh, like just from the starter island right to there?
Yeah, they
Damn.
they don't even no no speedrunner actually gets the like initial sword and shield because later in the game there's a cutscene that requires you to have the Hyrulean sword and shield. So it's literally just like, oh, you're at this point, you have to have these two items,
Okay.
and so it just gives you them at that point. I think the world record right now is like somewhere in the 50s, like somewhere in the 50-minute category.
Damn.
And but that's using a lot of It's using a lot of tricks, and the and one of the most major ones, which is something that I have never pulled off in a game of Wind Waker ever, and that's a barrier skip, which skips like 3 hours of the game. Not that major, but it's like a major chunk of time is skipped because you can get through the barrier without having to actually get through the barrier.
Hmm. Which
And
barrier is this again?
yeah, the barrier leading to like Ganon's fortress at like the end of the game.
Okay. I vaguely remember that. I haven't played Wind Waker since junior high.
It's my favorite of the Zeldas. Even though for the longest time it was hard for me to play because I was deathly afraid of the ocean
Un-
because it's just like me small, ocean scary.
That I completely understand that, but that's one of the reasons I love that game was I get to be in a boat and I get to travel around. I love that. Um,
I'm on a boat.
but I completely get the whole uh, afraid of water stuff. I know a lot of people who are afraid of water in games and in real life. In fact,
It also doesn't help that when I initially got when on the very first time playing it, when I initially got the boat and was able to actually sail it around because I got the sail and that kind of stuff,
hmm
I swam it out and before I got to the next island because I was just exploring around. Before I got to the next island, a giant octopus came out of the ocean.
oh yeah, one of those things. And you didn't have the bombs or bow and arrow
No,
or
I did not have anything that was needed in order to kill it, and that completely marred my experience with Wind Waker initially.
uh, scarring childhoods due to RNG. Thanks, Nintendo.
There there was a thing that do you know all right, I have a friend who also streams. His following is ever so slowly growing. I mean, it is growing, but it's like pretty slow going.
Uh-huh.
We were originally going to have a race between me him, and another friend in a in Legend of Zelda randomizer that was made by a mutual friend of ours. That way, no one had like an advantage,
Mm-hmm.
and it made and that we made plans to do that and even had like dates set up a year ago. For whatever reason, it just never happened.
Hmm.
But I always thought that was like such an interesting idea, which is three amateurs doing a randomized playthrough of a game that really should not be randomized.
Hell, I'd be up for it.
I mean, I mean something that I would love to do is do a randomized playthrough race in a Pokemon game. I think that would be fun.
That does sound fun.
I've seen speedrunners do races in games, and that's just like that's fine and dandy. But how could you make it to where like Joe Schmoes, and it's just like just randomize it, and make it to where the caveat is just who finishes first.
Now, would this be randomized as in both of them get the same random thing, or
Yes,
okay.
both of them get the same random thing, and the reason for that is because when I decided to try and do a randomizer Nuzlocke of Diamond and Pearl, which I played on Platinum, so but I went into the first field, and all of a sudden the screen starts freaking out as dramatic music pops up as Arceus level 2 pops out of the grass. So yeah, randomizers are weird.
Arceus. Which one is that again?
The god of Pokemon.
Oh, right.
Yes, I know. Gen 2 knowledge wouldn't get you to there, but Arceus is like the god of Pokemon. It's just like in it, and it's just level 2 in the grass outside the first.
Jeez.
But before my computer decided before my computer decided that it was too old to put up with any more streams, I had made it all the way to the Iron Island.
Now, whenever he wants to stream, he has to do it in a multiplayer game with me. I
I'm
control you.
I'm multiplayer in basic any.
Eh.
Like, but even then, my computer will sometimes actually, it's mostly my internet will just tell me, no, as seen by when we tried to do Teostra, and like it was like 2 times in a row, my internet just like blipped out for like half a second.
Just long enough to break the connection and completely screw you over. We need to
Yeah,
jump. We need to jump in and clear that up for you, so next time we can uh, take care of that last thing, whatever it's called again.
Valhazak,
Valhazak. Yes.
and then we can go ahead and get the final boss, Xeno'jiiva, which
Xeno'jiiva. That's it.
I've described to you a couple times.
Yes, as the fuck. Uh, no swearing. As the dragon lightning laser.
Yeah, it shoots laser,
Yeah. Hmm.
but
Well, we can take
yeah,
care. We can just hop into Monster Hunter and take care of that after this.
no, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. It's we could probably make a whole like separate podcast of Sword tries to tell Ark what Pokemon is again, or something like that.
Oh, 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 please. It'd be better with a visual guide.
You got flowcharts?
I mean, technically, I have charts for like the Pokemon D&D thing that I have going.
Oh, oh,
Like I actually legitimately do need like charts for that, so that way I know like what the fuck Pokemon can do. And yes, it's as bad as it sounds, people.
would would you call a Pokemon that does business a Chartzard?
I should just put a hitman on you, Lee. That was stretching it beyond imagination. Science!
Eh. Oh boy. I can't really remember where that all came from. Um,
What?
where we started this whole talk about like um the Pokemon stuff, other than
Oh, randomizer run.
yeah, and that came off of Zelda somehow, which came off of I don't even remember what.
Wind Waker,
Yeah, but
which came off of Speed.
right. We need a flowchart just to figure out where our conversation started.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. If anyone wants to chart that out and send it to us, feel free to. But
Or don't.
yeah,
Or well, I crushed that one.
yeah. Um, okay. Well, I suppose moving on to the other planned topic I had, they just don't make them like they used to. Because
All right.
I was talking with a couple of friends yesterday. Okay, because you've played Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, that was from
Obsidian.
Obsidian. Thank you. I wanted to call them by their original name, Black Isle, which is because those were the people who made the original Fallout.
Yeah. Which I think could still hold up today, but they would need like a UI change.
Oh yeah, they need to change up the UI and a couple of controls, but
But story wise, it's fantastic
it is.
because something that I've always noticed about Obsidian games, like games that Obsidian make, not Bethesda, Obsidian, is that most every character is a shade of gray.
Yeah, much like real people. It's almost like they know what they're doing and they give a damn about it.
I mean, at least they don't do the cop out that I hate so much, and I have seen in so many games inside this generation,
Eh,
which is probably like something that you can rag on, which is oh, the bad guy's dying. Why did he do all this? Oh, you wouldn't understand.
Well, that I can actually kind of see because it's like, oh, this the big bad evil guy is like, oh, I've got ultimate plans and I'm the ultimate man's. You won't be able to understand what I'm doing because, compared to me, you're so lesser. Ha ha ha. So of
But it's
course
still but it's like such a cop out.
it is, but there's also the cop out of, oh, just did for the money kind of thing. Like s- uh, this game
Wait,
is,
wait, 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 which would make a lot more sense than other games. Because greed is again. There's a reason why greed is one of the seven deadly sins.
yeah. But at the same time, just doing it for the money is just like a bigger cop out in my opinion. Because okay, uh, spoiler warnings for like the latest Splinter Cell game, which came out a long time ago. Um, Blacklist, that's it. Um,
I haven't. I played a good amount of Blacklist, but I don't remember anything from it.
would you mind me spoiling the end?
I don't care. I think I
Ah,
remember what the ending was.
yeah. Turns out the evil guy was just doing it for the money. The whole game, he talks about how he's against like imperialist control and all that stuff and stuff that I'm actually agreeing with him about. I agree with the ends, just not the means kind of deal, which apparently is a bad thing in this game. I don't know. I I do not have the same values as Tom Clancy apparently. So, anyway, the whole time I'm like, yeah, he's making some good points. He's making some good points. Oh, just for money. Oh,
There. Okay, so two games that had major cop outs using that. using like the oh you wouldn't understand thing
Uh-huh.
is the late and I'm not gonna spoil it because it's still pretty recent. The newest Pokemon game, Sword and Shield. While I love it to death, the bad guy's motivation is summed up as "Oh, you wouldn't understand,"
Jeez.
and it's just like, no, we don't understand because at no point did you make any sort of semblance that this is something that you could do, that you would do.
If you have a point, then make it. Yeah, no, I get that. That's that sounds infuriating.
And an older reference that could still be, and going back to Bethesda, is Fallout 4. Um, you eventually can get, and spoiler warning, all right,
All right.
you can get to your son that's kidnapped at the beginning of the game. Oh, he's all evil now and is the head of the institute, which is swapping out people for robotic clones that have all their memories and are so lifelike to the people that other people don't can't tell them apart.
Well, the flesh is weak.
But here's the thing:
Hmm.
after everything, your son's dying on the bed, and you get to ask him on why he why he did all that he did. Why did he cause like suffering throughout the wasteland and pandemonium with making like body doubles of all these different people? And of course, and he hits you with the famous tagline of "Oh, you wouldn't know,"
Weak.
which is one of my biggest, biggest goddamn gripes when it comes to any sort of storytelling. I have written short stories, not like full stories, but just like short stories, and it in any sort of scenario where I make a physical antagonist, not like a worldly antagonist, because you have man versus man, man versus nature, man versus self.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I have it man versus man, the antagonist in that situation, I will always make sure that everything he does revolves around their given like their given desire, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no cop outs.
Yeah, and that has led me to rewrite entire chapters because I had to go back and fix something.
Well, that's how to do it.
Yeah, but if dumbass me can do that, then these multi-billion-dollar companies with teams of writers can do it.
But that might cost him a couple extra dollars.
Oh no. Oh wait, oh wait, oh wait. Sorry. I have to do it right. Oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, but back to the original point of this segment. Um, Basically, with the Outer Worlds, you could tell that Obsidian gave a damn.
Yeah, like
Compared to Bethesda and Fallout 4,
I mean, there was some there was some care given to Fallout 4, but there was more effort put into like extending playtime.
yeah,
There
it's
is okay, this is going on a little bit of a tangent, but there is this music video called "It Just Worked," which is making fun of Bethesda.
I've been meaning to watch that.
You should. It's funny and sadly accurate. The creation engine's aging very well, and we're not going to do anything about it. Or the infamous line of, so, a couple bugs here, some broken scripts there. The fans will fix it anyway, so we don't care. They'll fix it through microtransactions.
Jeez.
And that yeah, no, that pretty much sums up Bethesda.
Yeah. They make a universe that the fans care about so much that the fans make patches that take care of stuff better than they do.
Yeah,
They just throw it out into the world and say, "Here you go."
like there was a mod for Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's a mod, but whoever did it was a madman. But it was Morrowind with Skyrim graphics.
Really?
Yeah,
Like,
and it was basically Skyrim and Morrowind. That's basic. That was the entire that was the entire thing that this guy did, and it was huge. Like
okay, was it using Morrowind and upgrading the graphics, or was it recreating Morrowind in Skyrim?
I'm pretty sure it was using Morrowind and upgrading the graphics. If it was the other way
Ooh.
around, that would be way too much for like one person.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't remember what happened in that scenario. But I do know that it didn't take long for like Skyrim to get a DLC in order to go to Morrowind.
Oh yeah, but I think that was planned from the start.
Oh no, it probably was, and the person just happened to hit the nail on the head beforehand.
Yeah.
But oh, I worry so much about Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be buying that one day one.
Bethesda went from uh, welcome to the Bethesda podcast. Uh,
Yeah.
Bethesda went from a company that basically everyone trusted and loved to on par with EA in less than a year.
Yeah. Well, if you do things that end up screwing over players, like the monetization in Elder Scrolls, what one was that was on mobile?
Uh, King something.
Hold on, let me look it up. Elder Scrolls
I mean, you can just look up Elder
Blades.
Scrolls Mobile. Play.
Blades.
Yeah, like making it to where it's like basically impossible to traverse some areas without forking over a bit of cash.
Yeah, that whole thing. Part of me still wants to try it, but another part of me is saying no, stay away. Don't even
I,
let that thing on your phone.
I mean, something that I've been wanting to try and just haven't come around to is Pokemon Masters because I keep hearing about how the game. I keep hearing two sides. Either A, the game is fantastic for what it is, or B, the game the game's microtransactions sort of ruin it, and it's just like Which one is it?
Mm.
Anyways, we sort of lost our track right there.
As we tend to do, apparently. Um, let's see here. What's oh yeah, basically I was going on about how you could tell that Obsidian actually cares about their games, and
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was some care in Fallout 4. Yeah, I would argue not a whole lot. It's definitely more of just a product than a piece. Um, and can we just say that Fallout 76 is a disaster that bears no real need to mention past this?
One of my favorite blunders of Fallout 76
Hmm.
is when they started banning people for uh, for pointing out bugs because oh you did this bug, so sorry, we gotta ban you.
Yeah, I have no idea who's at the helm there.
Yeah, it's just like little things like that are just silly. Like they should not, like, I forget who the group was, but there but it was this guy. He was like testing out like a shotgun glitch, I think it was. And over the course of about 20 hours, he tested like all these different variables and made a extensive bug report with like video evidence of like how the bug works and all that kind of stuff, and sent it to Bethesda. And Bethesda was just like, "Oh golly gee, look at this bug here. Oh, you filmed yourself doing it. Well, I'm sorry there, but we're gonna have to ban you for it."
Jeez.
I'm not kidding when that was the case, and it's just like, who in the right, who in any sort of, I mean, I could understand if it was like an automatic ban system, but at that point, you kind of need to figure out what's wrong with your automatic ban system.
It's stupid on its head. That's I don't know. I can't waste any more time thinking about it because it's starting to make my head hurt.
And anyone who watches this is probably going to yell at me that I got so and so fact wrong. But the overall point is Bethesda is one step forward, five steps back right now.
Yeah.
Like releasing patches that somehow reintroduce old bugs.
Yeah, I actually listened to a thing about how tricky bug fixing can be because you change one thing in, say, the ending part of the game and it ends up breaking something at like the very
Oh!
beginning, that whole deal. But
I,
still,
I know a little shanty that my friend told me because my friend's like in tried doing game development for a little while,
uh-huh.
and he just told me 99 bucks in the code. You patch one down, roll it around 135 bucks in the code.
That's about how it goes. Yeah. But still, with a company as big as Bethesda, you think that they'd have a bit of quality assurance going on. Like they could.
That assurance went out the window when 76 was launched.
Oh yeah, probably even before then. After all, you could ride horses up mountains in Skyrim. Um, but still, at the same time, you kind of have to wonder because it Bethesda's not a small company. Why don't they hire more people to actually, care about this?
Oh, something that may interest you,
Hmm.
and it did interest me because of what it could mean. Uh, the like head of Respawn, um, because of the success of the new Jedi Star Wars game
Mm-hmm.
that they made, um, they were given. I think it was like they were given ownership of another studio in LA.
Oh.
So basically, they climbed up the rank inside inside EA, and it's just like Respawn is like the golden child of the EA franchise right now.
They're the ones that did Titanfall, aren't they?
They're the ones that did Titanfall. They're the ones that made Apex. They're the ones that made the new. I think it's like Jedi Fallen Order.
I want to say you're right about that name. Yeah.
But it.
I'm just waiting for when EA kills them.
I don't. I mean, at this point, it'd probably be hard because they're making them a lot of money.
True, true, but well,
They
e
they can't reasonably kill them because the thing is that EA has gone out of their way in order to try and make projects fail. Like,
SimCity.
no, no, I mean like they've gone out of their way to make certain companies like, oh, you're gonna be releasing this day. Isn't this the day after such and such big title? I mean, that's the day you're releasing.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Liquidating the assets.
Well, still, they keep on doing this to studios with like beloved franchises and big fan bases. I
Yeah, and it's yeah, and it's just like
I
I if I remember correctly,
hmm,
another another big like step in the right direction is that they also didn't use the frostbite engine, I think, which which is like EA's like personal engine.
Frostbite. I thought isn't that the one that they used in that Ubisoft used in Division?
They used it to great difficulty.
Oh,
Basically, every every studio under the EA brand to is basically made to use the Frostbite engine, whether or not the Frostbite engine would actually help their game. In fact, most of the time, it probably hurts.
I will say I did like how stuff looked for Division, like bullets breaking glass and everything. But with other stuff, eh.
I mean, I will state this, and people can correct me if I'm wrong in this, but Andromeda, the Frostbite engine is not meant for like RPG s games, and so Ubisoft, whenever they try to make a game, has to like Frankenstein the engine in order to work for them.
Hmm. Yeah, 'cause how long have they been using that engine?
Probably too long at this point.
Well, yeah, 'cause hold on, let me look it up. It's No way. It's been a lot longer since 2011.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, no, because they used it for Morrowind.
That's Bethesda,
Wait.
and that's the creation engine.
Oh, I completely wow.
How'd you do that?
I I I don't know. Seriously, I do think that I should like go in to have my head checked at some point because for some reason just everything got replaced with Bethesda Creation Engine. Yeah, we were talking about Frostbite.
And we're talking about the Frostbite engine
Uh, Initial release 2008.
for the creation engine.
No, 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 that's Frostbite. Creation Engine was 2011.
Okay,
But no, Frostbite. They were talking about how Frostbite was new for Division. I thought.
no. Basically, EA makes their partner companies use that engine,
Yeah.
whether or not the engine work well. And I think Respawn used the Unity engine in the newest game that they made.
Jeez. Well,
So
that's
basically, there's like a rebellion happening inside of EA, and Respawn's like at the head of it.
well, it's showing to pay off. And hey,
By the way, how much B-roll footage do you have left?
about 4 minutes worth at the most.
We
So
should probably wrap it up.
we should. And if my show of mental state is anything to go for, I need coffee or a soda or something.
Go get some caffeine. You sound like you need it.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I just it was a complete mental blank for me. But anyway, um, I'd like to thank everybody for putting up with me, and I'd like to thank Mr. I Have a Sword for contributing.
Yo,
All right, and until next time, well, I'm hoping things are going to go well. Um, but until then, uh, I'm floundering here. Or
well that
in
then we can just say that this arc of the podcast has been fun, and we would like to see you all here again at another time. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Goodbye.
see ya.